Welcome to our new lesson of CapCut. In this lesson, we are going to learn about color grading. So, without any further ado, let's just move on to our lesson by opening up CapCut on our device. As this is all about color grading, on this lesson, try not to skip any part because this is very important because color grading gives the life in a video in a composition. So just make sure not to skip any part because every part of it is very vital. So first off, click on a new project. From here, import your new video. I'm going to upload all of them so that I can see which one to use. So I'm not going to be using something too long or nothing too short. So what I'm going to be doing is going to be, if you don't have any of the videos over here, what you can also do is open up your web browser and download another video. So to do that, I'm going to go off to pixels.com again. I'm going to do is go off the videos. Let's say humans. Okay. Search. Let's say I'm going to type in occasion. So I'm going to type in Japan, hit on enter. From here, I'm going to do is find out ones are the videos which are actually kind of, which will look a lot better when we apply color grading to it. So maybe something like this, or maybe something like this, or maybe something like this, okay? Do not take something which already has color grading or looks good already. So try something very subtle and decent. You can see this one. I'm going to download this. I'm going to show you two videos. So make sure to keep that in mind. Try two videos. I'm going to do this one too. I'm going to wait until it has been downloaded. You can see it takes a bit of time sometimes. I'm going to do is download this one. Okay. So make sure you're connected to the internet most of the time. Okay. So wait until it has been downloaded. And then you're going to go off to CapCut and then import them. From here, what I'm going to do is going to be uploading this one. Okay, now this one, I'm going to delete it. Okay, let me just delete all of these together and then upload it back again. So I'm going to do is just select all of them, open, and I have another video. I'm going to click on import, go off the downloads, and there we go. So we have all the videos which I need. One video, which I downloaded right now. And the other one is this one, okay? So let's start off with this one. Okay, I'm going to show it to you step by step, okay? So don't worry. First thing, what you have to do is you have this retouch option, right? You can start off with this one. But I'm going to show you all about it. So first off, there are a couple of options which you'll be able to use. Well, the main part of color grading lies on this adjustment section, okay? So you have this basic, HSL, and curves. Well, if you've used Filmora, you might see 4 of those options, but it's totally fine. You'll find all of those settings in 3 of these sections. And starting off with the retouch. Well, retouch is most of the time applied on subjects such as humans or even dogs or animals, okay, inside of any video. So if you want to do that, if you want to apply that, make sure to turn it on. From here, you'll be able to make it smoother. You can see applied to all faces. You can make it brighter. You can just apply whatever you want. So let me just skip this part and let's just get off directly into adjustment because that is where the main part of color grading relies on. So first thing is LUT. You can fix it up just by applying the one which you need to use. Now on the LUT, you can see there's like none right now. You have to make it up on your own. First off is make sure to select the video. Then what you're going to do is going to be go off to adjustment. Now the first thing which you have to fix up is going to be the color. Now color will be adjusted by using 3 sliders or 3 options, which is going to be temperature, tint, and saturation. Now how do you want your temperature to look like? Should it be, cold? Or do you want the temperature to look like it's hot? If you want it to look like it's hot, make sure to drag the slider on the right side. It'll make it look yellow. But if you want it to be cool, take it to the left side and you will basically see that it looks quite cool and feels like the temperature is quite cool too. So keep it where you want. Let's say I'm going to do is keep it like this, somewhere around over here. And then because people are wearing jackets, so I'm going to do is make it look a bit cooler. Now, if I want maybe a bit of tint, you can apply a bit of tint. You can see if you take it on the left side and right side, green and pink accordingly, okay? And respectively. So if you want the tint of the color to be a bit greenish, you can take it to the left. If you want it to be pinker, you can take it to the right. It will just give you off that, the time or, the sky color. If you feel like the area is kind of like a bit, on the sunset side, make sure to take it to the right side. But if you want it to be somewhere around, nighttime, it works better on, night videos. So you can try applying it and check it out which one you need. So I'm going to keep it a bit on the right side because it just looks a bit more better. Now you can fix out the saturation of the color of the video just by using the saturation slider. If you want it to be darker or no color, just take it to the left. If you want better or higher color, take it to the right. Now you can see the difference, right? You can see the difference of how it actually looks like. See, this is how it's supposed to look like. Or let's say without any effect, this is how it's supposed to look like. But when you apply it, you can see the difference of the color. So I'm going to do is just reduce it just a bit more, and you can obviously use maybe somewhere around 27. Perfect. Hit on enter. I can use these buttons too, all of them, and also use keyframes. Then let's go off to the light. Obviously, light plays a very important role in, carrying the wavelength of the color. You can fix out all about the lights. First off, let's start off with exposure. If you want it to be, a bit more clear, drag it a bit to the left because it will make the dark parts a bit darker and the borders to be a bit darker too. But if you want it to be brighter, you can increase it, but it will lose a bit of, the saturity, the clarity of the video. So I try keeping it a bit to the left because it just looks a bit dark, but it gives the color a better vibrance. Then we have the contrast. You can also increase and decrease it according to your need. I also try keeping it to the left side because if you see that the exposure, when you decrease it, makes the corner or the dark area a bit more darker and you want to make it a bit bright, just decrease the contrast a bit and you'll basically see that the dark parts will go away, okay? Even though sometimes it might look a bit shady, so adjust it a bit more. Let's say I want to increase it a bit. You can see now the darkness on the corners. But if you decrease it, you'll basically see that it will also turn brighter. So fix it up according to your need. I'm going to keep it somewhere around 6 or 7. Then we have is the highlights. So the highlights are the part which, basically shines through the video. You can see this is a highlight, this is a highlight, and this whole part of being white is this highlight, okay? If you want to increase it, you'll basically see the parts will get brighter. You can see how shinier it gets. If you decrease it, you'll basically see that the parts will become darker, okay? You can see the white part is becoming darker. So, but it just allows you to look through the video and make it look a lot more better. You can now see everything in the video because if you have brighter, you can see that it is too high. So I'm going to do is just keep it just a bit less so that we can spot everything clear in the video. Then we have the shadow. Well, shadow represents the shadow parts or the dark parts of the video. Well, not even shadow like, the shadows of people or shadows of anything. It's not like that. It's going to find out where the dark part is. You might not be able to see it sometimes, but it will analyze it. And let's say if you increase it, you will basically see the dark parts will become a lot brighter. See, these are the shadows, which you can see the dark parts. If you decrease it, you will basically see the parts have become a bit more darker. Now what you can do is increase the contrast and you will basically see, or decrease the contrast a bit more. You can increase the, the exposure, basically however you want. So I'm going to do is just undo the process. There we go. Perfect. I'm going to keep the highlights somewhere around over here. Shadows to be a bit darker. Now you can also fix out the whites in the video. I'm going to do is decrease the whites because it doesn't look that good to look at it sometimes. I can increase the blacks just a bit, or maybe increase it by decreasing it. You can see this is how it works. And you can also fix out the brilliance. You can see now, this is kind of like a bit of AI. It's going to adjust it on its own, brilliance. See if you increase it, how higher it gets, but you can see the exposure is a lot. So what I can do is just decrease it just a bit. You can see now it looks perfect. Now, if you undo all of these, you can see this is the basic and this is color grading. You can also apply a bit of effects. There are a couple of effects which you can apply, such as sharpening it, clarity, particles, fade, and vignette. I'm going to give you description or small description about everything. The sharpness will increase the crispiness of the video. You can see there are a couple of parts which you are not able to see sometimes. If you increase it, those will look a lot clarified. But one thing is that it doesn't look that good sometimes. Okay, so increase it like 1 or 2 sometimes so that it looks better. Now clarity does the same thing, but it, gives the structure a better pop. So if you increase it, you will basically see the structures a lot more better. You can see the boundaries and everything, right? You can see it how it works, okay? So I try using it, not much, but I don't like to not use it either. So I try to keep it somewhere on a decent level so that it looks a lot more better. It looks a lot more HD too, okay? Then we have the particles. If you want to remove it, you can also remove it by keeping it on 0. If you want some particles to make it look like nostalgic, you can increase it just a bit. It will give you off just a bit of that white noise or that noise in that video. And then we have is the fade. If you want to apply a bit of fade feather in your videos, you can apply that. You can see that it will just get like, bleached. Your video will look like a bit bleached. So you can apply it if you want to, but I most of the time use this fade and particle when I'm trying to make something, very retro. It just gives off a really good effect. But if you don't use it, or if you don't want to use it, that's also totally fine. You can use, the keyframes, which I'm going to be showing you in our next lesson. So try using them. So I'm going to do is just keep fade to be 0. I'm going to use particle to be somewhere around 2, 3, because I want it to be very good on color grading. And I'm not, focusing anything on retro video editing like either. Then we have the vignette. Well, the vignette is kind of like a fisheye effect, but it will give you off the white part and the black part on the corner of, any frame. So if you decrease it, you will basically see that it will become, either it will get whiter. You can see white, but if you increase it, it will get darker on the corner. This is how it does get. Okay. That also works as, a retro effect. Now, if you have applied each and every one of these, now you want to save up this effect or all of these settings. You want to apply it to, another video, or you want to use it for later purpose. You can save it up as a preset, which is what I'm going to show you right now. You can save as presets. You can see brand kit isn't available on CapCut Mobile currently. Can't open project. So you can just press on OK. Save as preset. You can see 18 space. Now, if you click on over here, you'll basically not find it. But what you can do is obviously go off to effect or brand kit. You can go off to brand kit, brand assets, images and everything, videos. You'll be able to apply that specific effect whenever you want to. Okay. So you'll be able to use it as a brand kit whenever you want. Okay. You can apply this filters option. You'll find out in your brand kit over here. You can see the LUT custom adjustment over here. So what I'm going to do is going to be reset all of these. Disable LUT, disable adjustment. Now, this is how it basically looks. But if I apply this preset, which I downloaded, adjustment, preset, this is basically how it looks. So what I'm going to do over here is that if you delete it, you don't have to worry. apply any other video. Let's say I'm going to do is apply this one over here. And then you don't have to customize anything. Just go off the adjustments, and on the presets, you will find out the same effects which I've applied. You can see all of them has been applied over here. Just press on this plus, adjust it, and you can see the same customizations are available. You can see it has been applied. You can also use the same ones over and over again and find out the one which looks quite good for you. So this is basically how you'll be able to save your preset so that you don't have to work on the same thing over and over again. Now you can see how good it actually looks like. And just because this is an adjustment layer, even if you remove it, it will give you the default. If you want to keep it, it will give you the color grading or the color graded effect. Okay, now I've shown you just about the LUT and adjustments. Let's get off to HSL. So in the HSL, you'll be able to customize a bit more. What I'm going to do is remove it. I'm going to show it to you later on. Now, most of the time, try to use adjustment layers when you want to save anything. And even if you don't want to, that's basically up to you if you want to use it. You can see the brand ones are called adjustments, and then we have brand filter 1 and 2. So the ones which you save are different just by you. So try using it. Now, what I'm going to be doing is going to go off to HSL. From here, you're going to fix out or find out the tint of which color you want that tint to apply. So if I want maybe a bit of yellowish color on my video, so I'm going to apply that, and then you'll be able to fix out the tint, saturation, and lightness. I want the video to look a bit more yellowish, so I'm going to take it on the right side, 51. I want saturation to be a bit higher, yellowish, or more yellowish. I want the lightness to be a bit dark. There we go. This is basically how it will look. I can also apply a bit more yellowish. I can apply greenish vibe to it. Let's say I'm going to apply this. You can see now it gets wider. I'm going to apply this one, and I want the lightness to be the lowest because I want the greenish part to be totally visible. You can apply the same thing on each and every one of these videos. You can apply new or different videos so that you can see the difference. Let's try maybe this one. Let's try this out. Let's see if I apply a bit of purple, how good it looks. All I'm going to do is just apply this photo over here. You can see how you'll be able to customize that part. If I want the purple to change, you can see you'll be able to change it. You can fix out the saturation. You can fix out the lightness. So what you basically have to do is if you use this one, delete, apply this, and if I select on yellowish, I'll be able to customize the yellowish part of the video. I can fix out the saturation. You can see how good it looks. Also fix out the lightness. There's a bit of blue over there, so I'm going to do is customize the blue to be brighter. Yeah, I'm going to keep it bluer. There we go. You can see how good it looks right now. A lot more bluer. And you can see the color has been applied to all of them. And the green ones, which I see over here, I'm going to do is just turn them to be like low saturated so that the green part is not that visible. And you can also save this HSL as, a preset too. You can save it up. Preset saved, go to adjustments, and you'll basically see that it is uploading. You can also cancel up the upload and can apply it whenever you want. Okay. So you can see this, it has been applied. If I delete it, if I go off to import, I find something yellow over here, anything yellow. So I'm going to do is apply this and try it out. There we go. Now if I apply that adjustment layer, you'll basically see that it has took place, or the effect has taken place already. Looks a bit, darker, right? And a bit of yellowish. So that is basically how it works on HSL. Now the last one which we have is called the curves, which is one of the most complex one. Okay, I'm not going to suggest you to use it if you are not comfortable with it, but you just need some ideas. So there are basically 3 different types of, these curves. So one is basically blue, green, red, and then luma, which is the light. So why is it red, green, blue? Because all the colors of any photo or any video is composed by three colors or three wavelengths, which is red, green, and blue. And luma adjusts the light. So let me show it to you. Anything, if you take it at the bottom, it will get darker. If you take it at the top, it will get lighter. But there are a couple of parts, okay? This is the midtone, this is the luminance, and this is the darkness, okay? Or this is the light, luminance, and this is the dark. Okay? So now you know which part to fix up with. So the middle part is called the middle or midtone. So let's say if I drag it down, it will get darker. If I drag it up, the dark parts will get brighter. If I drag this part down, the light parts will get darker. The dark parts will get lighter if I drag it up. But on the midtone, it adjusts most of the things. You can fix it out just by dragging it a bit low. You can see I'm going to do is just drag it a bit to the mid side. And you can see how good it actually looks right now. So you can adjust your midtone, your luminance, and your dark part of the video, or even your photo at the same time. It works the same case on photo editors too. And you also have the feature on video editors, okay? So we can try the red, green, blue too. If you want to fix the wavelength of red, green, and blue, you have separate of them. If you've used Photoshop or Illustrator or any one of Adobe, video editing or, photo editing software, you know about these, wheels. So you can also fix it out. Let's say I want maybe the red part to go higher. You can see now it looks a bit reddish. If I fix out the midtone, I can do that too. I'm going to make sure to keep it a bit, reddish. I'm going to just reduce or maybe increase it just a bit. It looks a bit now Middle Eastern, right? Now I'm going to fix out the blue. I'm going to reduce it just a bit, increase it. And obviously you can add more points, so don't worry. There we go. Looks quite better. And if you don't want it, or if you did a mistake, you can obviously, undo the process. Now let's go for the last one, which we have is our blue curves. You can also customize it. If I want a bit of yellowish, take it at the bottom. Fix out your midtones. And fix out your luminance too. And now over here, I'm going to just adjust it a bit more on the lights or the luma. There we go. Perfect. And you can also save it as a preset. Preset being saved, uploading. And then I'm going to try it out on other photos or videos too. And obviously, even if you apply it on a photo, you can apply it on a video too. Let's show it to you. Let's go off the import. I'm going to do is apply this video. And then what I'm going to do is going to be go off to adjustment, apply this, and you can see the effect of this. You can see how different it looks. If you want to remove it, it's fine. Apply a different one. This is the one which I've focused on blue and yellow. You can see this looks greenish blue. This one also looks greenish blue. Looks quite different, right? So you'll be able to, color grade your video however you want. You can see basically this is, this is not the actual, this is basically the actual photo or actual video. And if you apply any one of them, you'll basically see how different it will look. You can see there are a couple of them. So try to use the ones which you want to use and just go through these options. And I've shown you how you'll be able to use or apply color grading. And if you have any, let's say you want to grade or color grade any subject, then obviously you need to use retouch. So let me just show it to you. I'm going to just remove this. I'm going to apply this video over here. And then you're going to just go off to videos and go off the retouch. You're going to apply retouch. You can fix in the smoothness. There we go. Or you can also apply in photos. Let's say I'm going to apply one photo which has, a person in it so that I can adjust or find out. You can see, couldn't recognize any face. It needs a face, so I'm going to do is just go off to my web browser and open up or upload or find a photo. What I'm going to do is type in portrait. Hit on enter. And then I'm going to do is just take one photo. I'm going to wait for a bit until it has been downloaded on my device. There we go, download it. I'm going to import this. There we go. Delete. Take it over here, and you can retouch. You can see it will detect on its own. You can fix out the smoothness, the brightness. You can fix out the white teeth too if you want to. Then we also have auto reshape. You can fix out the face, eyes, nose, mouth, and eyebrows all at the same time. Let's say I want the eyes to be a bit bigger. You can make that. You can fix out the distance. It doesn't look that good, but yeah, you can try it out. You can fix out the inner. You can fix out manually. You can fix out the size. You can adjust it however you want to. I'm going to just undo the process if I don't like it. Just remove it if you think that it doesn't look good. Turn it off. And you can obviously use, makeup too. You can apply that. There are a couple of presets which you'll be able to apply. You can see this is how it looks, this is how it looks, this is how it looks. You'll be able to fix out the eyelashes, the eyeshadows, the lipstick, and you can also fix out body measurements too. Let's say maybe I want smoother. There's no legs, but you'll be able to customize it the way you want to. You can fix out the waist, the head, everything. Okay, so now you know how you'll be able to color grade and customize your video, even the subject in your video, the way you want to, and save your preset so that you can use it for later purpose. So hope you understood about everything in this lesson. Still, if you have any confusion about any part of the lesson, feel free to ask me anytime. I'm always there to help you out. Okay? And in these type of lessons, try to not skip any part because later on you will face hassle later on. So just like I said, make sure not to skip any part. And thank you for watching this video up till the very end. And without any further ado, let's just move on to our next lesson of CapCut.